Hello everyone, I am the Lore Explorer and this is Claire de Lune, a story-driven, first-person puzzle game in which we use our trusty nanogun to get around the environment and solve puzzles to piece together the story. So today, we will use our nanomatter wisely and pick up where we left off. As always, this video will contain spoilers for Claire de Lune. In the last episode, a mysterious force made our ship crash onto a restricted planet. We got separated from our daughter, and our sole goal here now is to find her and get off of this planet safely. But to do so, we used our ship's short-range teleport to get us closer to Claire's escape pod, which left us about 2.6 miles away. We find ourselves stranded on a restricted planet with nothing but our nanogun that shoots a 3-foot cube. We have to safely navigate our way over chasms and wide crevices, pits and all of that, all while keeping our eyes out for other unknown dangers that may be here. At least our starting point is this nice beach. With Arturo's assurances that we won't fall or slip to our death using their contraption, we can begin our journey. Right away, the cube as a shape proves its usefulness as sort of a stepping stone, boosting us up a bit, allowing us to easily get atop ledges. From there, John uses the cube and deafness to jump from pillar to pillar over large pits that would surely spell death if fallen into. Interestingly, Arturo mentions that some suits used to come equipped with propulsion systems, allowing people to fly around the landscape, but after too many robbery attempts and deaths, it was made illegal. But if you ask me, I sort of wish John smuggled one around and could use it, because that would be pretty fun. But I understand why it's not in the game. After following a path, we are sort of stunned a bit. We find ourselves face to face with a force field and its interface. Well, that settles it. I mean, this is a restricted planet and it definitely has people on it. The sign in front of the force field is telling us that this cave is about to collapse. But Arturo tells us that we could use the nanocore here, and plus, we sort of have to get through here somehow. Arturo hooks us up to the interface to rewrite some code, allowing us to shut down the force field.
Got it. You mentioned you have a use for the nanocore?
Yes, but you probably want to run through that tunnel first in case it collapses.
You said it wouldn't collapse.
Yeah, but that was more of a guess. Get going.
Yeah, see, this is why I can't tell if Arturo loves us or loves screwing with us. Maybe time will tell. But anyway, we get a cool new toy, a trampoline that allows us to get flung into the air. This will allow us to traverse up cliffs like the one we just had to jump down. Maybe Arturo really did think all of this out when they set up bouncers and cubes and what will come. But setting up the cube and standing on it and putting the trampoline below us shoots us right up to let us ascend the ledge. Beyond the ledge is a nice little waterfall which we'd probably relax at if we weren't in a hurry, but after we take a few more steps, we would have to rethink that sentiment. John spots something that doesn't seem quite right. Something that looks like a rock, but a bit off. After a few more steps, the rock reveals itself to actually be a crab that was hidden. But not just any crab, a species of crab that buries themselves into the mud to blend in and attack prey. You may think, because of their size, they're nothing to be scared of. But a full-grown spider crab can use their mandibles to rip the face off an adult human. They often blend in perfectly with their surroundings, and as soon as the prey gets near enough to them, they pounce and knock them over while aiming at their head. From there, you just have little hope. And unluckily for us, we find the direct path ahead is blocked off by a swarm of these spider crabs. Using all of our wit and wisdom, our 3-foot blocks and our newly added trampoline, and the surrounding area to our advantage, we fight our way for every inch through this place. Even though a few pincers caught our boots as we sprung away, we were able to avoid these crabs safely and leave them behind, and even crunch one for fun. After traveling for a while, we get a bit nervous about Claire and ask Arturo what they think about the situation.
This is taking longer than I expected. Has Claire turned on the escape pod distress signal?
Let's see here. Nope, it's still off.
Think she's figured out why turning it on is a bad idea?
Oh, you mean how we're trying to outrun the most prolific multi-system crime syndicate in human history? And that turning on an interstellar distress signal might just tip them off to where we are?
Yeah, that.
Given what Claire's seen in the past week or so, I'd say she knows something is up.
This has to be their fault. Onyx, I mean. Must have installed something on the ship, forced it to crash.
I haven't found anything like that during the repairs. Even if so, it didn't work. And so far, no one's come to finish you off.
Well, at least she hadn't had to turn on the distress signal yet. Onyx would definitely find us then. And yeah, Arturo's right. If they did do this to our ship, why haven't they come and finished the job yet? None of this makes sense, but it's best not to dwell on it now. We have to go save Claire. But after running into our next obstacle, we sort of realized why this planet was restricted. Not only will face-eating crabs kill you, the plants on this planet will kill you too. In fact, it'll try to strike at anything near it with a speed akin to a snake. And again, our trusty not dusty nanogun comes in handy, and we can trick the plant by luring it away with a box, and then jumping over it with our little boinger, or trampoline, whichever you decided to call it, while it's distracted. But getting past this deadly plant only reveals another obstacle. It seems like these plants are growing here because they live off the acid here. They use it like our plants use water, and there's just a big pool of acid. I wonder if their sting is filled with it too. Anyway, probably best not to find out. We have to use our 3-foot cube and trampoline to get through this whole series of acidic pools and snake-like stinger plants. Once we platform our way across all of the acid and make our way past our last plant, we're actually quite proud of ourselves. One slip-up at any moment could have caused an array of embarrassing deaths to occur, but in front of us looks like something that may be a problem as well. There is literally an acid waterfall disrupting our path. Luckily for us, Arturo definitely made the right choice with that 3-foot cube that I was kind of mocking at the beginning. Shooting one of them up there blocks the path and allows us through. But geez, this planet isn't giving us any breaks. Getting past the killer crabs, their friend the killer jabber plant, and then traversing pools of acid, there's just a lot going on here. Thank goodness we are a smuggler and have a bit of experience in dicey situations, but imagine Claire trying to get through all of this. Yet, while we were risking our butt in several different deadly ways, Arturo was focusing on something else.
Arturo, did you rename the booster to Trampoline?
But what? It's always been that way.
No, we called it Booster, remember?
I don't remember that. Besides, trampoline is much more accurate.
Okay, you've convinced me. Leave it as Trampoline.
Yes, I knew you'd come around. You won't be sorry, sir.
Well, I guess when you're an advanced AI doing nothing but living in your ship, you're free to think of random things all the day. While we were out traversing cliffsides so tall, we could high-five someone on the roof of a 2-story building on the way down if we fell. But on the other hand, they also have enough time to tell us that Claire's escape pod should just be up ahead. Scaling a few more cliffside gets us there, but it's not exactly the sight we wanted to see. Our escape pod has been put behind the same kind of force field we found earlier blocking that cave. Whoever inhabits this planet must have gotten here first. Did they even take Claire, or is she trapped in there like some kind of prisoner? Trying the force field's panel reveals we aren't able to hack it like the last one. Arturo is telling us that they're kind of catching on to us a bit, and his lack of AI power, held back by the security protocols, are kind of not allowing him to get through. But luckily, we don't need to use that trick yet. We have our nanogun. Shooting our cube at the right spot diverges the path of the acid waterfall nearby, making it fall right onto the panel controlling the force field. This promptly causes the acid to short the panel out. The force field drops, and we rush over to see what happened to our daughter.
God damn it. I never should have left her.
John, splitting up was the right choice. If you'd gone with her, you'd be stranded in the escape pod. If she stayed on the ship, we might have crashed and killed you both. You couldn't have known how this would all turn out.
Fuck! What the hell is going on here? What the fuck pulled us down?
Looking around, we find that in front of Claire's seat is a pool of blood. She may have even tried to crawl out of the escape pod out of desperation. She must have had a serious injury, and a random nearby datapad confirms this. Whoever inhabits this planet has come and taken Claire. She was in critical condition and assessed to be paralyzed from the waist down due to cervical spine injury. She was taken away from here to a nearby facility for emergency surgery. She took off of our ship around 6 a.m. and this data pad is marked as saying she was picked up around 8:40. So Claire was sitting there for 2.5 hours, bleeding, terrified, unable to move, and just scared out of her mind for at least 2 hours. We're beside ourselves. This is horrible. This is the second time this month that our actions have put our loved ones in direct danger. And this was supposed to be the escape pod. How could this have crashed? It's our escape pod. It's meant to, safely land here. Something must have malfunctioned. If we were just there, maybe we could have done something. But we have to keep our wits about us. We use that data pad in the ship to pinpoint the location of the supposed facility Claire was taken to plot ourselves a new course. Something I find interesting to note here is that Claire's rescue team arrived around 8:30 to rescue her. She launched around 6 and got help by 8:30, yet we sat in our spaceship untouched and unrescued for 7.5 hours. There's no reason other than that force field that I could think of that they would run out and rescue Claire so quickly, yet ignore us who also crashed and could have been in danger. Something fishy is kind of going on there. But at least we know Claire is alive, at least probably, and she seems to be in the hands of capable doctors who wanted to get her to emergency help. Even so, this is no time for us to be relaxing. We need to make our way to this facility. Before we leave, Arturo makes us take the nanocore from the interface of the force field by using the passcode we found, Eagle. With this, we are able to activate another ability of the nanogun that Arturo coded up. Now, we are able to anchor a 30-foot beam onto a wall that will attract our 3-foot cube to it, so it's essentially our blue block retractor beam. Arturo is so proud of their invention, they're willing to say things like, "Now, go ahead and jump onto that tiny platform, magically hovering above a deadly chasm." Mind you, Arturo is only pretty sure it'll hold our weight when they say this. But Claire is worth the risk, so on we go. The retractor beam does actually come in handy in more ways than one, like allowing you to ride a block and build up enough momentum to magically fling yourself over another, completely separate deadly chasm. You can even put it on the roof, facing down to essentially create an elevator by riding it up. The devs, Arturo, really put some thought into this. But after doing some deadly chasm platforming for a while, we found ourselves on some flat land for once.
Fun fact. If you fell from this height and landed on your head, death would be instant. However, if you landed on your feet, death would actually come moments later due to organ failure and blood loss.
How come all your fun facts have something to do with me dying?
I don't know. They just pop into my head.
Are you guys starting to get the sense of why I may think Arturo's sole goal in life is to mess with us? And perhaps want to turn us into a soft puddle of warm, gooey giblets? But even so, Arturo does give us the tools to turn the next group of mean face-eating crabs into gooey giblets as well. So, all equals out, huh? Using our tractor beam and cube, we can crunch those crabs right where they stand. This allows John to get by them pretty quickly, which is good because we need to find this facility, and fast. Once past those darn crabs, we still have a way to go. We probably have been walking for about 3 miles total when we run into something we really wish we had a gun for, like an actual gun, not a nano gun. So we have about a 10-foot tall thumbnail monster chasing us for no other reason other than to snap our necks and make us their next dinner. All we have to fight it off is our nanogun with a 3-foot cube and a trampoline, so small that it wouldn't even bounce this behemoth, and a retractor beam that only reacts to our cube, so that doesn't help. But guess what, thumbnail monster? Game on! Ha! We have seen our fair share of smuggling, but in some nasty fights, we'd rather just run. And this time, it works. I'd wager that got our heart pounding faster than most things we've seen in our lives. But of course, when it rains, it pours. Ahead in the distance, another one of these toenail monsters have already spotted us. We have to use our newly acquired parkour skills to outmaneuver this surprisingly agile giant. Using our trampoline, we bounce across many chasms and slide under a big rock that Big Toe can't get through. And boy are we lucky. If one of those crabs were able to tear our face off, just imagine what one of these toenail monsters could do.
Oh, shit!
And our luck doesn't get any better after that. After walking for just a short while, we hear another roar and another one of these lugheads charge at us. But we use our nanocubes and retractor beam to quickly fling us to safety. Once across the gap, we find ourselves coming up to a pretty awesome cave. The rocks on the ceiling seem to glow blue, and they vaguely remind us about our trip we had with our daughter a few weeks ago to that island. Just a few hours ago, we were safely on our ship just chatting away. Now, we can't get her off our minds. Almost like a retrieve from the universe itself, coming down from the cave reveals what we've been looking for. A facility. This must be where they've taken Claire. It looks huge. What the hell could this place even be doing here on a restricted planet? After hiking for a total of about 6.5 miles, we have finally tracked down the building Claire should be in.
This is probably it. Seems a little deserted.
Maybe a back entrance or something? Careful though, John. That turret up there does not look friendly.
Yeah, I see it. Any ideas?
Just analyzing the way it's set up here, I think you have to disable it.
But something definitely doesn't seem right here. I mean, we're on a restricted planet. They probably have permission to be here, but no one else is even allowed to land here to begin with, let alone get to this place. Why the heck do they need turrets? And why did they have to put a force field up around our escape ship, yet never come to get me? None of this is adding up. And where is everyone? We're going to have to find Claire somehow, and we're going to have to get to the bottom of this. But with a laser gun set to shoot everything it sees in sight, maybe it's time to take a bit of a break. The episode has gone on long enough. Thank you everyone for watching. If you liked the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. I really do personally like this series, and I really want it to catch on, so a thumbs up would really go a long way. This game isn't getting as much recognition as it deserves, in my opinion. Consider subscribing to the channel as well if you like it. We just got up to 8K subs here, which is amazing. I can't thank you guys enough. Anyway, a special thank you to the members here on the channel. I really appreciate the support from you guys that allow me to make whatever content I feel passionate about and not so much worry about the view count. But don't worry, Outer Wilds content will surely be coming up and sprinkled throughout it all. A special double thank you to Brock Riblet, who is a member here, but also went out of their way to use the new super thank you feature to donate. So a super thank you right back at you, Brock Riblet. As always, this is the Lore Explorer, diving deep into the lore so you don't have to.